Construction throughout New York, in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens has doubled over the last decade. This year alone, the city issued almost 120,000 construction permits. But new buildings are not the only thing on the rise. Fatalities have more than doubled, a result of too few inspectors for too many sites. In the fiscal year that ended September 30th, 29 workers died on the job. 21 of them were immigrants, most working as day laborers. Over the last 2 months, 5 more immigrant workers died. In October, a 45-year-old Korean painter, Mano Oh, fell 100 feet to his death from the Queensboro Bridge. A week later, Ramiro Jara died at age 25, after falling 17 stories off this Manhattan building. None of the victims were wearing a safety harness. Daniel Basilio, a Mexican worker, was on the roof of this building in Queens when it pancaked beneath him. He was rushed to the hospital, where he died shortly after. Police and city officials say the steel beams that undergird the roof collapsed under the weight of concrete.
People are cutting money on the material until somebody gets killed.
Patrick Nayar has been working as a contractor for 20 years. He says rising construction costs are driving everyone in the business to put profits over safety.
They're not doing the work themselves, so they escape, But the small people who are poor laborers, they pay the price with their own lives.
But workers are not the only ones at risk when construction is unsafe. Passers-by are in danger too. According to the Department of Transportation, at least 10 pedestrians are injured every year around building sites.
You see the unevenness of the sidewalk, even I'm tripping.
The city says areas like this should look like this.
And you could fall to death on here. And look at it, not even closed properly.
This site should be protected by a solid 8-foot-tall barrier, and the sidewalks should be closed. The Department of Buildings is supposed to monitor construction sites, but the only way to get an inspector on the scene is to file a complaint. Complaints can be made by anonymously calling 311. Hi, I'd like to make a complaint about an unsafe work site.
Hold on, please. All right, unsafe construction site. I'm writing this down as you speak.
But the DOB can't guarantee when someone will inspect the site, as Columbia Television News discovered. How long will it take for an inspector to get to the work site?
I can't give you a pinpoint time. That's up to the inspectors.
In response to the increasing number of accidents, the DOB formed a task force in November.
The safety of these workers is really paramount here. We really want to ensure that people know what the regulations are so they can protect themselves.
Last month, members hit the streets of Jackson Heights, Queens, to spread the word about safety and 311.
So this is an effort to really make workers aware that they need to have the right equipment before they get on a hanging scaffold, and that they need to be trained, and that they can report a dangerous workplace by calling 311.
The most common victim of safety code violations are Hispanic day laborers. ¿Dónde está tu casco?
Pues nosotros ahora sí que él no nos ha dado, si nos los da nos los ponemos, si no pues no nos los ponemos.
Many of them fear that if they complain, they won't get paid.
Priority number one for them is to get a job, work. And he will not risk that chance for nothing.
Former construction worker Carlos Canales teaches day laborers how to stay safe on the job. 10 years ago, he joined the Workplace Project, a nonprofit immigrant rights group based in Long Island. Gustavo Flores is one of his students.
Cuando estoy en las alturas en la construcción, yo pido casco para cubrirme la cabeza, que es la más frágil de nuestro cuerpo. Pero dice, no, aquí esta compañía no está para dar ese tipo de equipos.
At the Workplace Project, teachers like Canales explain to immigrant workers that with or without papers, they all have rights to a safe workplace.
Basically, we're explaining to them that it is the obligation of the employer, according to the law, to provide a safety place to work, and what kind of protection they should be wearing.
En la construcción no hay ninguna seguridad, ninguna, no hay seguridad. El patrón no le interesa eso.
Givner says the city's task force wants to change that disregard for safety.
We're not sitting back on our heels on this. We're really getting out there and trying. As our commissioner has said, and the truth is, One death is too many, and we've seen too many problems.
But with a ratio of 1 inspector per 3,000 buildings, tackling safety is a tough job.
With 950,000 buildings, you can't have, the inspectors can't be everywhere, right? I mean, we have to be realistic. There's only 350 inspectors. We rely on the neighborhoods and the communities to tell us when they see something that's unsafe going on.
But community members need to have patience. Almost 1 week after our complaint was reported to 311, no inspector has yet shown up. Next week, the task force will issue its recommendations to the mayor. The DOB declined to comment on what solutions will be proposed. But workers throughout the city are waiting, hoping that in the meanwhile, no one else will die. Lisa Desai, Columbia Television News.